Welcome to the 6th Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards 2021, celebrating the exceptional work achieved through academic and business partnerships, taking place today on World Creativity and Innovation Day.
Because this is a place that has so much potential to do things differently. We're small enough to get things done, but big enough to make a difference. And we have all the potential to create a thriving society that has abundance, has a fantastic economy, has fantastic jobs, has fantastic futures, has fantastic living conditions. And the only way that we'll get there is through creativity and innovation, and that attitude of creativity and innovation permeating through the whole population, because we can only get there together.
We collectively have set a vision for Scotland to be the world leader in 21st century tourism. And for that very reason, Scotland needs creativity and innovation.
Scotland needs creativity and innovation because in a country that is small, comprising mainly David-sized companies, we need to compete with international markets comprising mainly Goliath-sized companies. And as a consequence, we need to do so with creativity and innovation.
Scotland needs creativity and innovation to turn the challenges we face today into opportunities of tomorrow.
Well, a very warm welcome to the 6th Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards, where we celebrate the exceptional work achieved through academic and business partnerships. And it's just over a year since we were together face to face, but at that point, the spectre of the pandemic was looming. And I remember noting at that ceremony that the business environment in Scotland and the rest of the UK could look very different in 12 months' time. Well, it certainly does, and no one could have imagined how different. For the past year has been like no other in Scotland and around the globe. The scale of the challenges and prolonged upheaval to our lives, our society and our economy have been unprecedented in recent times. However, faced with a very difficult situation, the spirit of collaboration, engagement and solidarity from the business support and academic communities has been truly awe-inspiring. Adaptation, diversification, and creativity have been at the heart of the response to the pandemic. Attributes and features, and our people and innovation ecosystem that I believe will serve us well in forging and shaping Scotland's recovery. Now, as we grapple with so much uncertainty and change, universities and colleges working with businesses of all shapes and sizes and across sectors will play a significant role in resetting the foundations of our economy and society to create a more sustainable and resilient future. As chair of the Interfaith Strategic Board, who has seen the truly positive impact and benefits of academic business partnerships working, I want to highlight to everyone joining us this afternoon the importance of innovation and knowledge exchange. Our awards ceremony today coincides with the United Nations World Creativity and Innovation Day, a day designated by the UN to raise awareness of the role creativity and innovation play in all aspects of human development and in harnessing the economic potential of our nations. In our heads and in our hearts, we no doubt all accept and understand this. But what has been highlighted during this last year is the power of collaboration and the recognition that working across boundaries, be they disciplinary or sectoral, real or perceived. The hunger for collaboration has been evidenced through the massively increased demand for interfaith services in the last year, And the new relationships that have been built over this time will, I hope, promote and evidence the impact of well-matched and supported academic-business relationships. And we are all ready for this. Adaptation and creativity have underpinned the approaches adopted by everyone over the past 12 months, including universities, colleges, businesses, public and third sectors. In sharing challenges, we have come up with solutions, and in many areas, we've been able to move forwards further and faster than perhaps we might have expected. It somehow feels as if we've all become entrepreneurs. We have dialed up our spirit of innovation and creativity. And harnessing this mass entrepreneurship can surely provide new momentum for economic growth and job creation. I fully believe that Scotland has the vital ingredients to be a leading innovation nation. Our universities, colleges and businesses have over many, many years given Scotland a worldwide reputation for inventiveness. And it's this spirit of discovery and innovation that we will call on and harness to reinvent routes to renewed inclusive growth. Together we can expand opportunities for everyone, with particular regard for those most seriously impacted by the pandemic. And we can provide solutions to some of the most pressing and long-standing problems of our time. So we have much to build on, to celebrate and to be proud of. And I can think of no better time than today to celebrate the achievements of individuals and teams that have been leading the way in Scottish knowledge exchange, showing what is possible. Many of the partnership teams have been brought together through the work of Interface, and what a fantastic job this dynamic team have done. In just 1 year, nearly £89 million in gross value added to the economy, and 1,595 jobs supported by collaborative projects with 100% client satisfaction. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Scottish Funding Council, Scottish Enterprise, and Highlands and Islands Enterprise, the key funders of Interface. I want to thank the members of our strategic board who provide expertise, challenge, and guidance to the organisation, and to Edinburgh Innovations Limited, who host Interface. To draw to a close, I wish you a very enjoyable time this afternoon at our Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards. Please sit back, marvel, and celebrate the exceptional talent and work of people and partnerships that are thriving from across university, college, and business communities in Scotland. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker this afternoon, Dr. Nicola Millard, Principal Innovation Partner at BT for Global Business. Nicola.
Hello, my name's Nicola Millard. I am a Principal Innovation Partner with BT. I was previously BT's futurologist, but I got really tired of the crystal ball jokes. So my job title is slightly less exciting now. My job is no less exciting, however. So I'm part of BT's innovation team. Normally I would be based at a lovely place called Adastral Park, which is our main research and innovation headquarters just outside Ipswich. I am currently inside Ipswich at the moment, so I'm about 7 miles away. Obviously not at Adastral. I am in my kitchen talking to you today. So my job is kind of an intriguing one because Adastral is the hub of our research and innovation activities. And for those of you that don't know, and frankly many of you probably don't, we're one of the biggest investors in research and innovation in the UK. We're terrible at talking about it, but we did, I think, got up to about number 3 at one point in terms of investment behind a couple of pharmaceutical companies, but we drift up and down the top 10 at the moment. So we're a big investor. My job largely, I call it speed dating. So my job is to innovate for and with our large UK corporate customers and our public sector customers, so that we don't just keep all of that lovely innovation to ourselves. But that ecosystem is far wider than Adastral Park. It comprises a lot of sites around the world. We have also some lovely university partners. And to be honest, that's the focus of my work, is to work largely with partners like MIT over in Boston. We have Cambridge University, Bristol University, Tsinghua over in Beijing as well, all are strategic partners. But you name a university, we've probably got a relationship with them somewhere. And also, obviously, we keep a big eye on startups as well around the world, and have our own sort of innovation startup community at Adastral as well. So my job largely is to make sure that we firstly raise people's awareness that we do innovation, but also connect people together to work on real life problems, because innovation isn't about PowerPoint. It's all about rolling your sleeves up and doing something. But I'm also a slightly unusual member of the innovation team in that I'm not, strictly speaking, a technologist. Maybe half of me is a technologist. The other half, and I'm never terribly sure which half it is a psychologist. So I claim I look at the most disruptive part of innovation, which is not the technology, frankly. It's us. So I look at the two elements, human elements, I guess, in the puzzle. The first element is customers, consumers, citizens, us, basically, and how our behaviours influence adoption and disruption. So I've spent, the past God knows how many years, nearly 30 years obsessing about customer behaviours. And we do very regular research in BT around, particularly customer experience. What do customers expect from corporates in terms of service and experience? So we do very regular research. We've just published a piece of research over the pandemic, reviewing how customers' attitudes and behaviours have changed during the pandemic. And actually, I guess the overall finding is that they haven't changed a huge amount in terms of things like customer expectations of customer experience. That hasn't gone down. I think where we do get some interesting data is around things like people finding some of those customer experiences stressful and frustrating, I think were the words that we used. We have had a year that's stressful and frustrating. I think the last thing we want is anyone to add to that stress and frustration. So we want our interactions with large corporates and public sector to be easy, to be convenient, to be frictionless, to not add to the stress and frustration we already have in our lives. And of course, we have seen some profound behavioural changes. Firstly, I probably wouldn't have been talking to you from my kitchen in my slippers 18 months ago. I would have been standing in front of you as an audience. So we've seen that shift. I have been lucky enough to work from home, and my job, because I'm a knowledge worker, has been a job where I have adjusted to working from home very effectively. I am using digital services a lot more, and that again is another place where the experience isn't always there. In fact, 82% of customers in our autonomous customer survey said that they had been struggling with digital experiences, even sometimes doing the basic stuff like paying, like changing appointment times, aren't necessarily as easy as we might expect on digital. And that's got a kind of profound knock-on effect to contact centres, for example. So, contact centres have been bearing the brunt of some of that frustration. And a lot of my work is around how do we reinvent the contact centre? How do we help contact centres do their job? So certainly if we look at some of the things which kind of lead from a logical customer behaviour perspective to innovation, video is one of the interesting ones. And we've been seeing a kind of impetus around people using video for a while, to be perfectly honest. Video's been around for a very long time. But we've suddenly seen people using it to socialise, to work, to do pretty much everything in terms of connection. Does that then translate to a desire to interact with corporates over video? Well, 85% of customers have said yes. They would like to interact over video, but what they say and what they do are often two very different things. So when we actually look at the behaviour and adoption in that space, the one big one over the past year has been video interaction with healthcare. Now, largely that we haven't had a lot of choice, to be perfectly honest. But I think obviously healthcare providers have suddenly woken up to the fact that to a certain, it doesn't replace face-to-face, but to a certain extent, we can use video to help customers. And we can start to enrich that experience as well. So, for example, in the healthcare collaboration space, we've started to use the power of things like 5G in our 5G ambulance to enable paramedics equipped with an augmented reality headset and a haptic glove to transmit in real time high definition video back to a medic, remote medic in a hospital using a VR headset and again another haptic glove, so that they can actually see and feel what the paramedic is seeing and feeling. And now, obviously, from a patient perspective, they hopefully don't have to be admitted to hospital. The paramedic can do more procedures than they would have previously been able to do. And again, there are advantages on both sides, both patient and organisation. So we're certainly looking at things like that. Other things we've done around things like remote diagnostics using video. So certainly within BT, we've allowed the smartphone to come into play. So with the customer's permission, we can take control of both the camera and the lights on the smartphone, so that we can say, certainly for things like broadband diagnostic problems, can you show me what you've got plugged in? We can also use an AI overlay on that because they're standard wires and standard sockets. So we can start to auto label which wire should go into which socket, both for the benefit of the remote expert, but also for the benefit of the customer. And again, that creates a faster, better customer experience. So they don't have to wait for an engineer to come out and just say, you've got the wrong thing plugged in. From our perspective, we don't have to send an engineer out every time to say to the customer, you've got the wrong thing plugged in, because that actually costs a lot of both time and money. So it's a win-win situation. And I think with a lot of the innovations that we have to do, we have to ask, what's the advantage for both the customer and the organisation? And if we can't answer that question, we probably shouldn't do it. So they're just some of the things we're looking at on the customer side to create customer experiences and better customer experiences. I think the other side of the equation, of course, is the employee. And to be perfectly honest, this past year has been the year of the employee. I've been working on the future of work for, again, a very long time. We've been running a research project on the future of work for about 10 years. And to be honest, BT's experience of things like home working date back to one of my first jobs in BT. This dates me, but back in 1992, we ran our first proper home working experiment. It was actually up in Inverness, and we ran a lot of our experiments in Scotland. But yeah, in Inverness, we got people to work from home for a year. They were actually, again, contact centre operators. So we weren't sure if they were going to go nuts. That was why I was involved in the project. So as a psychologist, making sure that their well-being hadn't been compromised. But largely it was a technology trial. But when we look to the technology, then we can see why home working technologically didn't happen back in the early 90s, because we literally had to bulldoze people's front gardens in order to get a big enough pipe into their house in order to get voice and data and everything else to them. So that, for a start, added to the cost. We didn't have Wi-Fi, we didn't have 4G, we didn't have 5G. We did have video, and we did put a video unit in. It was the size of a small fridge. It was a terrible quality, and understandably, people didn't really use it an awful lot. But that trial was successful. But in fact, if you look at the convergence of things like connectivity, unified collaboration tools, and also, simply the fact that we have a lot more cloud at the moment, it's almost the perfect time for a pandemic, if there was ever such a time. And yet that had been around for about 5 years, the ability to work from anywhere. It's just that we hadn't wholeheartedly embraced it. And this whole year has been an exercise it's been a massive experiment in remote working, and we've learned an awful lot. I've got data pouring in at the moment just to try and figure out, what went well, what went badly, what's likely to come out of the back of this. Now, I think what everyone is now talking about is that there is a desire to get back to an office, but I think people have, where they have been lucky enough to work from home, have adjusted very well and don't necessarily want to go back to 5 days a week in the office. So there's lots of talk about this hybrid model. The trouble is, what is a hybrid? I think that's one of the biggest things we need to talk about, because most people are referring to hybrid and actually meaning flexible working. But if we look at my favourite hybrid is a Zedonk. Half zebra, It's half donkey. It looks like a donkey with zebra leg warmers, basically. But it doesn't spend 3 days a week as a zebra and 2 days a week as a donkey. It is a different breed. And I firmly believe that hybrid working is a very different breed of working. Firstly, I think we get way too obsessed around presence in the workspace. So hybrid firstly untethers us from being physically necessarily there to do our jobs. But it's also an interesting one that we found out that digital is a great leveler, and it's great for inclusion as well. So the meetings where we all appear in our own little celebrity squares on little boxes has been brilliant, because I don't have to get on a train or a plane or an automobile to actually go to that meeting. I just need some kind of connectivity. So people that haven't necessarily been able to travel before the pandemic, one of my friends, again, lives just outside Glasgow. She's in a wheelchair. She always used to complain that everything good was in London. She could get to London, but obviously it was slightly more difficult for her. She's had a brilliant year because she's been included in absolutely everything, and we mustn't lose that. But we can create these really horrible hybrids. We've probably all experienced a horrible hybrid in our lives, and that's when we have a meeting where half of the people are in the physical space and half of the people are virtual, and out of sight is often out of mind. So, the physical people just forget that there are people dialing in. The thing is, we can't do that again. So if you are in a meeting where half of the people are physical and half of the people are digital, probably you need a digital first hybrid. In other words, everyone is on the digital platform, regardless of where they are. Now, do we want to spend our entire lives sitting on little celebrity squares? Do I want to spend my entire life getting up in the morning with an impending sense of Zoom? Probably not. One of the things I think that we have to rethink is the concept of the meeting. So what we've done largely is lifted and shifted this analog thing, a meeting, into the digital space without necessarily thinking, is that the best way of doing it? And what that has manifested itself as during the pandemic is that series of 30 to 60 minute constant time boxes of meetings. So we just accept those, and then we don't really get time to go to the toilet or have a break or have a coffee or walk the dog. And frankly, we get less productive because we get tired of doing that. The one thing we need to probably step back and say is, should this be a meeting? Can I do this another way? And certainly remote organisations before the pandemic did a lot more asynchronously. So in other words, using tools like chats, like shared workspaces to evolve ideas. And then when it came to the point where it was pretty critical to have a meeting, they had one. But they also had office hours. So particularly a lot of these companies were global. So they have maybe a 4-hour time box period where people are available to do meetings. So I think we can probably learn a lot around reinventing work. And I think that's the priority for the hybrid. How do we reinvent work to make it better for the individuals involved and more productive for the individuals involved? But of course, looming in the background is another massive crisis, which is climate change. How do we reinvent work to be more friendly to the climate as well? So all of those are very big questions. We have got some answers, but frankly, well, it's too short a keynote to really to explore. But if you do want to explore them, there's lots of research out there. I've been quite busy over the pandemic. So not only the customer research, we've got plenty on the future of work out there as well. So get in contact if you want to read. If you're having trouble sleeping, I can probably help on that level. But my basic message is, if we're going to design an effective future, we cannot be technology led. We have to put people first. And that, I hope, is why we should probably include psychologists in the conversation. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoy your evening, and goodbye from me.
A knowledge exchange is our lifeblood. It's the nourishment of the seeds of knowledge that grow into mighty oaks. It's at the core of innovation that is formed by the hands of not one person, but many, each player playing their part.
Knowledge exchange is learning from others and working together to make something better.
As the winner of last year's Innovation of the Year, I can wholeheartedly say that Knowledge Exchange adds a further dimension to your business and allows you to accelerate quicker to market than perhaps you would otherwise have been able to.
It challenges thinking, it stimulates creativity and new ideas, it helps businesses solve problems, and it can be fun. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards 2021, brought to you by the team at Interface. I'm Siobhan Jordan and I'm delighted to be your host this afternoon for the awards ceremony. Wow, what a lineup we've had so far. A big thank you to our guest speakers, Professor Andrea Nolan and Dr. Nicola Millard. And we've also been delighted to hear the thoughts and ideas shared in the video montages. Some of you may recognise previous Scottish Knowledge Exchange Award winners. Now this is a time for celebration. Coming together for the awards is a real highlight in the Interface calendar, and we hope yours too. And although Nicola spoke to us from our kitchen in our slippers, rather than travelling and addressing us here from the stage, I can confess that in honour of the importance of the occasion, I have dusted down my dressing up box and reached out for my trusty heels rather than my flat trainers that usually pang the streets. Now, normally at this stage, I'd be introducing the housekeeping arrangements, including fire safety notices, and to turn your mobiles to silent, but none of that today. But we really would like you to join in the conversation online. And the link to the full programme format is available on the top of your screen. Now you've got lots of ways in engaging in the conversation. You can post any general comments and engage with the other attendees via the event chat, which you can access via the blue tab or panel on the right-hand side of your screen. If you have any specific questions to ask our guest speakers or myself, then please use the Ask the Speaker panel on the right of the live stream video. And if we don't get round to answering all the questions posed during the event, we will follow up afterwards. And don't forget to get involved on Twitter too, using the hashtag ScotKEAwards. So please do join in the conversation. I, for one, could not have predicted the impacts and repercussions since we last came together in February 2020 for the Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards. That was the occasion we launched our 15 Faces of Interface campaign in celebration of our 15th birthday. Thank you to all that took part in the campaign, whether as one of our 15 faces, and I know some of you are attending today, or whether you supported sharing our key messages. Perhaps one of the shortlist featured here today will be our 16th, 17th or even 18th face. Now, although this particular campaign has come to an end, the underpinning themes of commitment, partnership working and every mission being possible will continue, we hope, for many years to come. But there is no doubt that the last 12 months have been a bit of a roller coaster year of change and adaptation for everyone. But some things have remained constant and even grown in stature and importance, including celebrating success. So right here, right now, coming together via an online platform, maybe a little bit different to an in-person celebration, but in many ways it has opened many more doors to deliver the awards to a larger audience. So we welcome guests this afternoon from across Scotland, the UK, Europe and other parts of the world. And we can delight that a truly global audience is joining in celebrating this showcase of knowledge exchange. Scotland, truly on the world stage. In fitting with the theme of this afternoon, creativity and innovation, there have been a few changes to the awards this year. Not only are we delivering the event online, but we have refreshed the branding and introduced 2 new categories. We received the highest number of applications ever, doubling and tripling the past 2 years of entries. And a huge thank you to our judges drawn from throughout the ecosystem, representing Highlands and Islands Enterprise, Scottish Funding Council, South of Scotland Enterprise, Scottish Government, KTN, National Centre for Universities and Business, CBI, CDN, and from our Interface Strategic Board. With so many applications, they had a mammoth but enjoyable task to thoroughly read and assess each one. The panel members have been extremely impressed and humbled by the high calibre of applications, the people behind the projects, the spirit in which they have been submitted, and the sheer breadth and diversity of knowledge exchange that is impacting people, places, and our planet locally, regionally, and globally. To each and every one who was involved in preparing and judging the applications, a heartfelt thanks. Thank you to sponsors Marks & Clark, our long-standing supporter of the awards for the past 5 years, along with SI and the Interface funders, Scottish Funding Council, Scottish Enterprise and Highlands and Islands Enterprise. We've been particularly delighted that all of the shortlisted entrants across the categories can personally explain their creative and innovative partnerships through the power of video. And we know that a huge amount of effort and time has gone into producing these and sharing the insights in response to our thought-provoking questions. So thank you. Each of our category winners will receive a bespoke trophy. Here's one we prepared earlier. Sadly, we can't present them in person, but they will be safely delivered to the winning homes across Scotland in the coming days. And now it's the time that you've all been waiting for. So let's get proceedings underway with announcing the first 4 category winners. Now, one of the magical things about being online is that everyone has a front row seat. So make yourselves comfortable, charge your glasses or mugs, and remember to cheer, applaud, whoop, stamp your feet, whatever it is, but let's celebrate as loudly as you can. So here we go. We're starting with the category Making a Difference for partnerships that have produced significant social or environmental impacts that ultimately contribute towards a fairer, better, and more sustainable future. The judges commented on the breadth and depth of entries, which demonstrated many examples of doing things differently. So let's meet our shortlist.
The Dennis Law Legacy Trust, in partnership with RGU, have developed and grown a street sport programme initially aimed at reducing youth-related antisocial behaviour that supported 3,000 participations annually, into a multi-level programme that today supports over 18,500 participations across Aberdeen City and helps a wide range of disadvantaged young people into positive destinations. Thanks to the strong work of the Dennis Law Legacy Trust and the collaboration with RGU, the Street Sport programme can now evidence record numbers of engagements annually by young people living in areas of deprivation, female participation growth from 8% to 40%, increases in young people's wellness via scenario wheel measurements, and increasing in volunteering with a charity. And most importantly, helping make communities in Aberdeen closer, healthier and safer.
NHS Highland looked to address the environmental impact of the healthcare it was providing by forming the One Health Breakthrough Partnership. The partnership brought together regional and national stakeholders, and it aims to establish a non-toxic environment through innovation, cross-sector engagement and knowledge exchange. Our work with the Environmental Research Institute at the University of the Highlands and Islands assessed the quality of our hospital wastewater, discharging into the sewage system and onwards into the environment. And through this work, we achieved the Alliance for Water Stewardship Award. It's a global benchmark for environmental and social responsible use of water. We got a world first for our hospital. NHS Highland also drew upon action plans to plot sustainable healthcare practices and ways in which we could increase sustainable water use in our hospital. The partnership will now roll out this successful approach, hopefully across hospitals all across Scotland. So together we are making a difference. We are developing innovative approaches to meet Scottish Government, environment and energy goals and creating a greener, healthier and climate-ready country.
Hi, I'm Sam Vitesi. I'm a reader in design at Edinburgh Napier University. I do lots of things with my research, but one of the most exciting things that I do is working with 3D printers, and we create innovative materials, including ones with biodegradable plastic and with waste from the Scottish textile industry we've worked with. We've made 3D printable cashmere, 3D printable wool, and now we're doing stuff with the Scottish Leather Group and Bridge of Weir, doing 3D printable leather, and we've also made a sheet material from it.
Dr. Sam Vitesi's research at Edinburgh Napier University has investigated the innovative use of waste materials in design and manufacturing. Along with the Scottish Leather Group, they have developed new high-value products and processes using sustainable materials, which have significantly impacted manufacturers, as well as contributing to sustainability education and sustainable art. This research has designed and developed new products and processes from waste and offcuts, and has had significant impact on both in terms of projected increase in sustainable manufacturing and increasing revenue.
And the winner of Making a Difference is the Scottish Leather Group and Edinburgh Napier University. The judges considered that this was a compelling application, and through the development of new high-value products and processes from waste and offcuts, this innovative project had a clear purpose with strong environmental impacts. So let's hear from the lead academic in the award-winning partnership, Dr. Sam Vitesi at Edinburgh Napier University.
Everybody at the Scottish Leather Group and Bridge of Weir for letting me see their amazing materials and getting amongst them and having faith in me to do this sort of work at all. Then all my previous funders like the Textile Future Forum, the Scottish Institute for Remanufacture, Interface for letting me extend the project a little bit and seeing the potential of it, and my PhD students who have been fantastic, Denise Milne and Chloe Teo. Just been great. Thanks.
Next up, we have the Multi-Party Collaboration Award, involving 3 or more parties working together to solve a common challenge. And the judges felt that the applications submitted for this category were a real reflection of challenge-led innovation happening right across Scotland. Many of the applications included partners drawn from academia, public, private and social sectors, providing excellent examples of the mobilisation of networks across the whole ecosystem. So let's hear from the shortlist.
To demonstrate our 5G leadership, we have launched our Scotland 5G Connect programme, a national network of innovation hubs across Scotland. We will collaborate with industry and business around key priority sectors to create tangible business outcomes and benefits. This will be supported by the latest technology and 5G ecosystem. The programme will offer businesses access to a unique demonstration and development environment where they will test and develop new applications and 5G services, establishing new business models and use cases. Each 5G Connect hub has been designed to be regionally relevant, ensuring the benefits of 5G enable local businesses and communities to thrive. 5G will revolutionise our lives.
The Aquaculture Genetics Alliance is a long-term and strategic collaboration between academics, industry and government scientists that has enabled a programme of research targeting sustainable aquaculture via prevention of disease. Together, these partners have brought a lot to the table and contributed to a breakthrough discovery of key genetic markers for disease resistance. This has then been translated into application by breeding of salmon with increased resistance to a viral disease called infectious pancreatic necrosis. This disease used to cause mass mortalities in salmon farms, but largely thanks to the discovery and knowledge exchange, it has now been reduced close to zero. In addition, this exemplar helps spark widespread uptake of genomic technologies to tackle other infectious diseases of salmon, as well as other aquaculture species, and the industry has really bought into the potential of genetic solutions. A primary target now is sea lice, with our genomic tools for selecting for resistance to sea lice currently being applied, with major potential for producing lice-resistant stocks in the future.
Hello, I'm delighted to be here today. My name is Michelle Brogan. I'm a Development Manager working with the Digital Health and Care Innovation Centre here in Scotland. I'm delighted to introduce on behalf of the partners our ScotCap project. The Scottish Capsule Programme is a multi-partner collaboration which brought together like-minded innovators and partners from across industry, NHS, academia and government agencies to drive forward and deliver a roadmap for the adoption of colon capsule endoscopy here in Scotland. The project essentially involved designing and evaluating a new innovative managed service models to support the delivery of colon capsule endoscopy, which would enable early diagnostic testing for bowel cancer symptoms and a cost-effective alternative to colonoscopy. Based on the success of our project, the ScotCap test is now being rolled out across Scotland as part of the NHS endoscopy remobilisation plans. It's estimated that this test will benefit up to 10,000 people in the first year. We're really delighted that this project has been recognised now as more of an exemplar in terms of the design and also the evaluation work which was taken up. And we continue to collaborate with colleagues in NHS England, NHS Wales and internationally in the work that we've started here in Scotland.
And the winner of the Multi-Party Collaboration Award is the Scottish Capsule Programme, ScotCap. The judges felt that this was a superb example of a collaboration across a multitude of partners who have co-designed and delivered a minimally invasive pill cam as a viable, safe and cost-effective method for the early detection of bowel cancer symptoms. And it was considered a very strong submission from an impressive number of partners with exemplar collaboration, measurable outputs, and in particular, opportunities to demonstrate innovation to adoption within the NHS. So let's hear from Michelle Brogan at DHI to find out where they're planning to keep the trophy.
Well, currently our plan is that we'll hold the award centrally, DHI, on behalf of our partners, but once we can all get together again, our plan is that we'll have a great photo with the award so we can all celebrate this achievement. Awesome. and appreciative. I think we recognise the calibre of other submissions this year, so we're in good company, but absolutely to win would be awesome.
And we're very much looking forward to receiving the awesome group photograph from the ScotCap team later in the coming months. Next, we celebrate our COVID-19 collaboration response for an innovative product, process or service that has been developed in response to COVID-19, be it in the medical and health battle or supporting economic recovery. The judges found the applications in this category a real privilege to read. In fact, they were absolutely humbled by the researchers, companies, public sector organisations, and many of them working under difficult conditions to support fellow human beings and to get us all through this pandemic so we can share brighter days ahead. This came through in every application. Phenomenal stories and fantastic people. We applaud and thank you all. So let's meet our shortlist.
At the start of the pandemic, the demand for disinfectant at Ecolutions manufacturing facility, it rose about 600%. So we needed a very quick turnaround, a quick automated solution that could make this product and it still maintain its quality.
Well, this was the first project we did with Edinburgh. I mean, firstly, I have to say they were magnificent in finding a way to do this because lockdown had just commenced. Most of the university facilities were closed, and indeed most of the events looking to partner with industry had been shut down. But a little bit of persistence from ourselves and a huge amount of cooperation and goodwill from the coordination team at the university meant that we found a way to not only get this through the project approvals process at the university, get the funding, but also get the necessary resources reopened to enable the core research to be done, the lab design work to be done, and leading to what was a very, very successful project.
The Lighthouse Laboratory in Glasgow was established last year by the University of Glasgow and the UK's Department of Health and Social Care as a national COVID testing facility, analysing samples from individuals with suspected COVID infections. Based at the University of Glasgow's Clinical Innovation Zone, the Lighthouse Lab exemplifies the Triple Helix partnership working with industry and the NHS that is now embedded in the university's culture. Although led by the University of Glasgow, our industry partners and pan-Scottish collaborations through BioAssent, BioClavis and the University of Dundee enabled the rapid establishment and development of what is now the UK's largest high-throughput diagnostic facility. The Lighthouse recently reached the milestone of having analysed over 10 million cumulative tests, a phenomenal achievement in supporting the country's national COVID testing effort and confirming the critical role the lab has played in response to the pandemic.
Our project was a One Health collaboration between NHS, Morden and SRUC Veterinary Services to provide testing capacity for COVID-19.
So Morden has a high containment facility and the staff that are trained to perform work with dangerous biological agents such as COVID. So we receive the sample from the NHS, we take them to the high containment lab, we inactivate the virus and make the sample safe to be sent down to SRUC for further processing.
So the Morden team bring us the virus inactivated samples. We place them on a robot which reads the barcodes on the sample tubes and transfers the samples into a 96 well plate. We then extract the viral RNA and then run the SARS-CoV-2 PCR test. We do an initial quality check on the results and then transfer the results files to the NHS.
Coordinate the efforts between NHS Lothian on the one part and NHS Scotland on the other, so that we generated a seamless testing machine together with academic and industrial partners in support of NHS Scotland's endeavours to provide COVID testing.
And the winner of the COVID-19 Collaboration Response Award is the Lighthouse Laboratory in Glasgow. The judges commented on the holistic contribution this partnership demonstrated in response to COVID-19. A truly remarkable combination of scale, agility, and utilisation of relationships within the innovation ecosystem. So it's over to Dr. Carl Clugston at the University of Glasgow to share what it means to win this award.
Winning at the Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards is fantastic recognition for all our partners who have worked together seamlessly over the last year with a shared vision to support our NHS. We will proudly display the trophy in the Lighthouse, of course, which is within the University of Glasgow's Clinical Innovation Zone at the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital. I'm delighted for our partners and proud of the many people who have supported the Lighthouse's journey and who have worked incredibly long hours to make this a reality.
Next up is our Powerful Partnership Award, celebrating long-term strategic partnering. The judges enjoyed reading the applications, which provided insightful examples of mutually beneficial activities that had been sustained over time between partners. Particular highlights were getting the foundations of success in place: communication, trust, and in many cases, cross-departmental support. Here's the shortlist.
The partnership between COB and the Roslin Institute has focused on advancing genetic knowledge and developing tools to further enhance sustainability of global poultry production. Our achievements to this point have met and exceeded our expectations. I am excited about our continuing collaboration with the excellent scientists at Roslin to drive innovation. This partnership is fundamental to COB successfully fulfilling its foundational purpose of using innovative research and technology to make poultry healthy and affordable to everyone.
The biggest highlight of our relationship so far, or this partnership so far, has been the development of our surrogate host. The reason that this is important is that prior to this technology, the only way we can keep our chickens and that genetic variation we have currently is to keep live flocks, and that's a very expensive process and is also subject to a lot of risks. Our ability to take a cell from the freezer and produce a chicken has been able to mitigate those risks so that our genetic variation is available for future needs.
As the world grapples with the effects of COVID-19 on the education sector, myself, Fiona McPherson, and Neil McDonnell, who you can see in VR. Hello, Neil.
Hi.
We're both at the Centre for the Study of Perceptual Experience at the University of Glasgow, and we have partnered with Sublime, a leading Scottish immersive technology company, to ensure that University of Glasgow has the capacity and knowledge to improve all aspects of remote teaching and learning. We have created Edify, a virtual reality learning platform that allows students to access the benefits of virtual reality teaching from their own homes.
Edify removes the need for high-specification VR hardware, as it supports mobile and desktop usage via widely available third-party products. This democratises the benefits of immersive learning, providing crucial accessibility to shared learning experiences. Experience such as coming to the Colosseum in Rome, or perhaps coming to visit the moon. Hi. Edify can even take you to a distant future imagined laboratory, like this one here, on Mars. It allows students to learn without limits. The project catalysed a new company. It created 21 new jobs, and now 60 licences for use of Edify have been sold in institutions across Scotland, in England, and even in Australia.
Hello, I'm Jose.
I am Shi. UWS has developed a unique and long-term collaboration with the leading multinational firm Thales through a series of successful projects in recent years.
The partnership was primarily facilitated by the Innovation Centre Censis and helped by Police Scotland and other stakeholders.
Through this partnership, we have developed groundbreaking AI technologies and deployed it in Police Scotland's remotely piloted aircraft systems.
The AI solution we have developed could save lives by identifying missing people in remote rural areas and thus offer great help in search and rescue operations.
The system uses advanced cameras and neural networks to spot someone who is searching for, identify individuals who appear as a speck in the distance.
The technology is the first of its kind used by police forces in the UK, providing real-time image analysis to identify humans.
UWS has since been able to build a remarkable strong international academic team.
And our team has been providing the UK and international economies with innovative smart business solutions in a wider context, such as 5G and the novel 6G.
And the winner is Cobb Van Tress and the University of Edinburgh. Now, the judges felt that this partnership structure was very well defined and clearly demonstrates party benefits for each party to deliver a sustainable global poultry industry. Let's hear our winner's reaction.
If we were to win the Scottish Knowledge Exchange Award, it would be validation for all that hard work that we have put into this partnership. You know, partnerships don't just develop without any effort. It does take a lot of effort from both parties. It takes a lot of friendship and a lot of trust between our parties. Having that validated is always a great moment for both.
Bloody amazing.
Before we announce the other 4 category award winners, I'm now delighted to welcome back 2 former winners of the Innovator of the Future Awards to find out over the next 10 minutes what they've been up to since winning their awards and indeed what winning has meant to them. The Innovator of the Future category celebrates Knowledge Transfer Partnership Associates, further education and higher education students or postgraduate students who have been hosted or sponsored by a business in collaboration with a Scottish university, research institute or college. So, we're delighted to have 2 Innovators of the Future joining me live, including the 2018 award winner, Petra Crocker, who won her award for a KTP project with Edinburgh Napier University in Multiply, and from last year's awards, Dr. Conor Blair, who won his award for his Medical, Veterinary and Life Sciences Industrial Placement PhD with Portage Glasgow Limited and the University of Glasgow. Now, Conor and Petra have been waiting patiently in the green room, so it's delightful to meet them in person. Hi, Conor and Petra, and thank you so much for joining us live today. I'm going to start off with a few questions to each of you, and for those of you watching online, please do add your comments and questions via the Ask the Speaker panel on the right of the live stream. So, Petra, let's turn to you first. Tell me a little bit about your current role and responsibilities and what's happened since we've last met you in 2018.
Hello everyone, I'm so excited to be here to keep that connection with the KTP app, and I want to say massive congratulations to all the nominees and award winners today. Well done everyone. So after I won the KTP in 2018, I received a permanent position in the company that I worked with as part of the KTP at Multiply. And I spent a further 6 months just strengthening the research foundations and actively pitched a tool that we had developed together, which is called Mind's Eye. And we pitched those to prospective clients, new clients, and I had a wonderful time actually applying my newly learned skills in a real life marketing environment. I then was very fortunate to actually land my dream job at a company that I always admired in Scotland, which is Skyscanner. So in the last 3 years, I've worked for them, and I was really able to use my previous user research experience and embed that further within marketing. So first I joined the Germany team, where I looked after all the research activity, and I made sure that we increased our product market fit within that market to make sure our German users were happy with the products that we were offering. I then last year changed my role slightly. I moved into a lifecycle team where I'm now heading up all of our efforts to re-engage and onboard our users globally. So it's been quite a journey since I won my KTP award.
That's fantastic, Petra. Thanks for sharing all that. And Connor, has your role evolved in the last 12 months since you won Innovator of the Future?
Well, thanks for having me back. I can't believe it's been over a year since the last awards. It's absolutely nuts. It's been quite a busy year for me. I've since completed my PhD, so I now have my doctorate, which is great. And I have finished up and moved on from Portage Glasgow, the company that I was principal scientist of and who I won the award with. We had just finished up some work on a couple of our therapeutic projects, one of which was licensed and acquired by another investment company, so that's a good result for us. I am currently being employed at the University of Glasgow in a postdoctoral position where it's industry focused, so my main aim is to spin out a new startup biotech company that focuses on developing novel therapeutics that can modulate and inhibit pathological targets in cancers with the aim of creating a commercially attractive asset that can hopefully benefit patients in the clinic.
That's great, and it sounds like, Connor, knowledge exchange and working with industry has been very important for your career.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been completely critical. You know, my advisor always said that I should be as proactive as possible, and it's something that I pushed very early on in my career, and it helped me set up collaborations with industry and with well-known experts, clinical scientists and clinicians as well, and really helped bring success in all areas of my career so far. It's been massive.
That's fantastic. And Petra, how did winning the award perhaps help define your career?
Actually, I would say to anyone that the KTP was a significant milestone in my career because it really opened my eyes to what integral part research and in particular user research plays in delivering successful marketing. I always knew that I had a passion for research, but I never quite knew that digital marketing was such an exciting space to apply my research knowledge to. So the KTP really opened my eyes to that. And overall, I would also say that I actually built more confidence throughout the KTP because I can believe in my abilities and in my skills. And I firmly believe that throughout this whole process, it actually opened those doors for my dream company, Skyscanner, to me. So I'm really, really chuffed that I got those opportunities to be part of a KTP.
But obviously your dream job with Skyscanner, but international travel has been very much on hold. So what have you been up to for the last 12 months then? Inspiring us all to travel when we can?
Yeah, so the last 12 months have been a bit of a whirlwind. As you can imagine, when COVID first hit, it was a very difficult situation, especially in the world of travel. So we made a very tough decision at the beginning of the pandemic to actually switch off all of our marketing comms to be traveler first. We didn't want to overwhelm users with information that wasn't quite fit for purpose. So in the last 12 months, I spent a lot of time actually adapting our marketing material to make sure it does work, and we are giving users the information they need to go to that next trip and destination safely. And we've also worked on building new product features to ensure users have the right information on their hands. So for example, we've developed a cleanliness score and free cancellation filters to make sure users find the right hotels and flights when they do decide to take up their next trip.
So it sounds like lots of innovation has been happening. And Conor, if you were to give some advice to this year's shortlist of Innovator of the Future, what would you suggest to them?
Yeah, well, I've touched on it already. It would be proactive. One of the first things my advisor said to me when I started my PhD was that I had to hustle as much as possible. And by that he meant be proactive. And it's something that I've certainly centered my work ethic around. It's helped me gain confidence in my own research and communicating my own research. It's helped me overcome perhaps confidence issues that you might face with things like imposter syndrome, which, you know, is something that we all might kind of suffer from now and then, especially in an area so important as innovation and entrepreneurship. And it's really helped me set up and approach world-leading experts, clinicians and scientists in fields that I wouldn't have dreamed of in the past, and sitting down with them one-on-one, having, you know, human peer-like conversations and setting up collaborations that have been critical to the success of any therapeutic project that I've worked in so far, and is currently still helping my career today. In my current endeavours to set up a new biotech company where we're making new connections through ones that we previously made as a result of being proactive. So I would really implore everyone in this space to be as proactive as possible, go out and hustle.
Great word, that, hustle, network and be proactive. And I'm sure if there are any investors in the audience, would be delighted to hear from them, Conor. We're just coming up to a little minute to go, and there's a final question around which of your perceptions around business and industry has really changed? So maybe I'll give that to Petra. What of your perceptions around business industry have really changed? So that's come in from our live audience.
Yes, so actually I think my perception to the whole marketing industry has changed vastly through this KTP, because if you had asked me 5 years ago where my career would lie, I would probably not have said marketing. It was not on my radar. So this whole KTP project has really opened my eyes of what good you can do with marketing. It's not all just ads and trying to sell things to users.
And we're just coming up with a brief minute to go, so I'm going to ask you, Conor, the final question. And I suppose it's around how can, in an academic setting, how can the kind of environment there help to nurture innovators of the future? So the nurturing environment that you've experienced.
Yeah, well, for me, it's been a very positive experience. I think it's really important that industry and academia and business likes, you know, do what they can to collaborate and to support and to encourage new PhD students, new researchers, new early career researchers, and try to do their best to sort of enable them to seek out innovations, to execute their innovations, to be entrepreneurs. And it's something that our university has done a fantastic job with, at least in my experience. They're just constantly feeding through and relaying on all these opportunities for funding and training. And it's been a huge impact in my career. I know it's been a huge impact in others. And it'll make a huge impact in innovation as it continues to support and to enable others.
That's been fantastic. What a quick 10 minutes we've had. We could spend the whole afternoon chatting away here. But sadly, we have to thank you so much for joining us. It's been fantastic to hear your experiences, to hear so much about what you've achieved in the short space of years, both changing roles and actually setting up and establishing a new company. So well done to you both, and thank you for so much for all the advice that you have shared for the future applicants and winners. We wish you all the best and your future careers, and we very much look forward to hearing your future successes. Now, it's not the final chance to actually continue on this discussion, because we'll have a chance to speak more about innovators of the future and how knowledge exchange, innovation and creativity is underpinning the future of work in one of the 3 networking rooms, and we'll join those at 4:30 p.m. More details will follow on how you can participate. So once again, thanks to Conor and Petra. But it's now on to the final 4 award announcements. And fittingly, after hearing from Conor and Petra, we're starting with Innovator of the Future Award, sponsored by SCI. This category received the highest number of applications, testimony to the strength and diversity of innovation and creativity across Scotland's universities and colleges. And the judges felt that the applications demonstrated many inspirational examples of blue skies and applied research happening in partnership with a range of industry and social sectors. So well done to all of you who applied for achieving deserved recognition from colleagues and peers. We have some outstanding candidates in our Innovator of the Future shortlist. So let's hear from them directly.
I'm Abdul Nabulsi, a multidisciplinary scientist with a range of skills and expertise gained from working in both academic and industrial sectors. I have extensive experience in antibody development, molecular medicine, bioinformatics, data mining, and algorithm design. I'm currently working with Vertebrate Antibodies Limited and researchers from the University of Aberdeen to develop a diagnostic test to detect emerging COVID-19 variants and evaluate their impact on vaccine performance. I'm also working with Regis Professor Graham Murray on 2 projects. The first one is concerned with the use of AI imaging for the classification of lymph node metastasis, and the second one involves the use of novel combinatorial approach for the molecular subtyping of colon cancer. Additionally, I work with AI Biologics, where I manage the development and integration of AI models to provide disease-specific solutions.
Hello, my name is Jacob and I'm an engineer here at Phoenix Instinct. What we're doing here at Phoenix Instinct is we're developing a smart wheelchair of the future. So that's a device that will make the user's life easier and empower them through the use of smart technology. The wheelchair is a device that has been stale and stagnant for quite a long time, and we're hoping to break through that. The remit of the KTP project was to develop an ultralight carbon fiber wheelchair frame that would then house the added weight of the electronics. And we certainly managed that. We have the lightest wheelchair frame on the market. And that was part of us winning $1 million from Toyota Mobility Unlimited Challenge to further develop this product and bring it to the customer.
My name is Fraser Stewart and I'm a biomedical engineer with JFD Global, and I have recently just completed a knowledge transfer partnership between the University of Strathclyde and Fathom Systems Limited. My project involved bringing wearable health technology to the commercial saturation diving industry. The environments that these divers operate in can be extreme, harsh and remote, and therefore any way to improve the divers' safety in these environments is welcomed by the industry. The technology I developed during my project has the potential to transform diver safety in these environments in the future. Alongside my main KTP project, I was also a key member of the Invicto ventilator team. The Invicto ventilator is a new type of ventilator developed by JFD in response to the COVID-19 pandemic and can help countries around the world in their response to the pandemic. My particular role involved developing test equipment and software and the algorithms that calculate ventilation parameters and control oxygen flow to the patient.
And the winner is Dr. Jacob Reitrovus from the University of the West of Scotland for his KTP project, which Phoenix Instinct will support. The judges commented on the tremendous impact of the collaborative project to produce a lightweight, carbon-fibered wheelchair frame which is directly supporting people with disabilities in an innovative way. Jacob put his heart and soul into the project and has played a really strong ambassadorial role for the company and the product. So let's hear where he's going to keep the award.
If I were to win this award, it will probably be at my desk here at Phoenix Instinct. We have quite a few of those nice little trophies coming in the recent months. So I guess there would be a place for it in the office for sure. I'd like to thank Andrew. He's really the key driver behind this project. He's got the vision and the mission, I think, and I was glad I could help him bring this thing to life.
Well done, Jacob, and we look forward to you sharing the image of your trophy cabinet in the coming weeks. Before we leave this category, and in our spirit of continuous improvement, and particularly as champions of equality and diversity, a note that we will be actively campaigning for greater diversity in the range of entrants next year, particularly from females who were underrepresented this year. Now on to our Knowledge Exchange Champion Award, sponsored by SCI, for an individual who has made an outstanding contribution and played a pivotal role in the promotion of knowledge exchange within Scotland. The judges were impressed by the range of applicants who really demonstrated and brought knowledge exchange to life beyond traditional boundaries and sectors. So well done, one and all, for their inspiring and diverse contributions to catalyse real economic and societal outcomes through knowledge exchange. Let's meet the shortlist.
Mike is the university's first Regius Professor of Life Sciences, and during his 30+ years at Dundee has won many awards, not least a knighthood for his services to science, which he was awarded in 2019. KE has been central to Mike's career, and he has led on 3 major infrastructure projects in Scotland that created centres for the expansion of knowledge exchange on a national and indeed global scale. Together with his colleagues, he established the Drug Discovery Unit, DDU, a unique and world-leading centre for drug discovery which translates life sciences research into therapeutic applications, the Dundee Proteomics Facility, and the Discovery Centre for Translational and Interdisciplinary Research in Dundee. Mike has also promoted the potential of high-growth spin-out company opportunities from Dundee's world-class life sciences research. Looking to the exciting future of transformation in Dundee, Mike is a key driver of the biomedical cluster component of the Tay Cities deal, which will drive further knowledge exchange opportunities within and beyond Scotland.
Professor Malcolm MacDonald has been instrumental in the development of Scotland's space sector and its successes. I've nominated Malcolm for the Knowledge Exchange Champion for a number of reasons. His focus on collaborations between academia, businesses and policymakers has ensured that knowledge exchange has been made easy and accessible. His continued support for students and research teams is helping to foster new KE champions, and many are now in leading positions in Scotland's space companies, for example CloudSpace. His work as director of SOCSA supported the creation of at least 16 new companies in the last 6 years, and his media work has promoted Scotland on the global stage. Most recently, Malcolm is leading a space technology cluster as part of the Glasgow City Innovation District. This will ensure that academia, businesses and government can come together to collaborate and benefit from new and emerging space technologies. Good luck.
The internationally leading research undertaken by Professor Liz Neubeck has had significant impact on the field of cardiovascular health at a national, European and global level. Professor Neubeck champions knowledge exchange that provides real and sustainable impact in Scotland and beyond. She understands that knowledge exchange and a collaborative approach to projects underpins the required change for societal improvements nationally and internationally. She has secured over 1.5 million in competitive research and knowledge exchange funding, much of this in collaboration with external organisations such as Public Health Scotland, Chest, Heart and Stroke, the British Heart Foundation, Medtronic and Albasoft, to name but a few. Professor Neubeck has continued to be an ambassador for the real world and life-changing benefits of knowledge exchange and collaborative approaches to research. She'd be a worthy and admirable winner of this award, and it's my pleasure to nominate her.
And the winner of the Knowledge Exchange Champion 2021 is Professor Malcolm MacDonald from the University of Strathclyde. The judges considered this a brilliant submission, and they were particularly impressed with Malcolm's strong public engagement and the global ambassadorial role that he has delivered for the Scottish space sector. So here's Malcolm to tell us, in his own words, what winning means to him.
To have been selected over two such esteemed fellow nominees is really pretty surprising, so it's great to have your work recognised by others, so thank you very much. Right there, so that it's visible on all my video calls.
Well done, Malcolm. We look forward to seeing the trophy. Next up, we have our second new category for this year, which recognises and celebrates our knowledge exchange heroes. These are the people who can be found working away behind the scenes in a research and innovation or research and enterprise office, and who play a pivotal role in making things happen. And in considering the applications, the judges admired the human stories and indeed by the spirit in which the nominations have been submitted. So let's meet our shortlist of knowledge exchange heroes.
I've nominated Lisa because she's taken a holistic approach to increasing knowledge exchange, engaging tirelessly with internal teams and external organisations to ensure mutual learning between industry and academia and to foster continuous dialogue. This approach has resulted in new and strengthened relationships and an understanding of the opportunities of collaboration. Of particular note is Lisa's engagement and encouragement of early career researchers. By engaging with all new staff, postdoctoral researchers and PhD candidates, and offering enhanced support for collaborative and consultancy activity, positive attitudes for working with industry are embodied from the outset.
Hi, my name is Ruth Milne. I'm the Commercial Manager at Robert Gordon University, and I nominated Gary for the Knowledge Exchange Hero Award in recognition of the significant role he has played in increasing knowledge exchange activity and supporting organisations to prosper. During the pandemic alone, Gary fostered over 50 new collaborations between the university and industry, and many of these were supported through the Scottish Funding Council's Innovation Voucher Scheme. And in fact, during Gary's role as Knowledge Exchange Manager, our engagement with the scheme has increased by over 300%. And this is only possible due to dedicated individuals like Gary and others in the team working behind the scenes to make these projects a reality. Gary acts as a central point of contact, both externally and internally, but importantly throughout the project cycle, enabling the university to provide a responsive and easy to access service. Not only that, but during the pandemic, like so many, Gary juggled this role with full-time childcare responsibilities, working well into the evenings and weekends to minimise disruption to projects and partners. And for these reasons, I would love to see Gary win this award.
I'm Eileen Appleyard, Head of Engagement for the College of Arts, Humanities and Social Sciences at Edinburgh Innovations. This afternoon, I would like to introduce you to one of my colleagues, Dr. Andrea Taylor. Andrea is Head of Business Development for the College of Medicine and Veterinary Medicine. I've nominated Andrea for a Knowledge Exchange Award. Why have I done this? I work with Andrea on a collaborative basis, and I've watched her seek to engage colleagues within the college and outside the college to develop long-term relationships with industry. How has she done this? She has developed a team that is fully integrated within the college model, providing support to academics and professional staff. She has created and nurtured relationships across the university, seeking opportunities for cross-college collaboration and fostering links with industry and academia. In addition, she has won the licence to operate from academics and from industry partners alike. This is a major achievement. I commend Andrea to you and nominate her for this award. Thank you.
And the winner of the Knowledge Exchange Hero is Dr. Andrea Taylor from the University of Edinburgh. The judges felt that Andrea was a relentless champion for knowledge exchange, who had embedded culture change to deliver proactive industry engagement, significant investment, and to enable new company formation. So let's hear from Andrea.
So I'm delighted and thrilled to win this award. I feel I have a great role working with innovative science and inspiring external partners to translate science and impact patients and society. So it's really nice to take a pause and feel recognised for those contributions. I think the award will take centre stage on my rather uncurated Zoom background.
And it's now on to our final category, Innovation of the Year, sponsored by Marks & Clark. I do hope that your mugs and glasses are still well charged, because eligible partnerships for this category have been supported by Interface Business Engagement Brokerage Service by the Scottish Funding Council Innovation Voucher Programme. And the judges were particularly impressed by the sheer breadth of innovation and impacts happening across many industry sectors, businesses, social enterprises and charities. So let's check out the shortlisted Innovations of the Year.
On this chair, I can move the centre of gravity, changing the weight distribution, taking weight off the front and putting it into the back wheels. Now all the weight's been lifted off the front of the chair, it's beautifully easy to use. I mean, the agility is extraordinary. It'd be great if chairs could be this light to turn all the time, but there's a reason that they aren't. With so much of my weight now on the back of the chair, I'm at real risk of falling over backwards. I'm going to switch my chair to intelligent mode. Now the chair will move its centre of gravity with me. As I move forward, it moves forward. As I move back, it moves back. My centre of gravity and the chair's centre of gravity are now the same. This test demonstrates how vulnerable a user can be with an agile, fixed centre of gravity. In comparison, the Phoenix Eye intelligently moves its centre of gravity so the user doesn't fall back.
My name's Alistair Cameron. I'm the Managing Director of ScotMass. We're a water treatment, hygiene and environmental care company based in Kelso in the Scottish Borders. Our innovation is a water disinfection system that absolutely eliminates the risk of chemical impurities being passed into the water after the disinfection process. This is incredibly important for new and emerging technologies such as water desalination that are increasingly being used in the Middle East, Africa and throughout Asia. This container here is the first of a number of systems that we're sending out to the Middle East, and this container alone will treat 50% of the water volume of Scotland. We've developed this technology over the past 5 years, and we've worked with a number of academics and Scottish universities to help us get to this stage. Most recently with Robert Gordon University, but also employing the assistance of academics from Strathclyde, Heriot-Watt and Edinburgh University. By ensuring that drinking water is free from bacterial contamination and is purified to the best extent possible, we're ensuring the safety and quality of life of people around the world. And that's all come from technologies developed here in Scotland.
It is never about the technology. It is about the experience that the technology can support. The project was about people and communities across the ages. That is what the heart of the Scottish Carnlough Centre is and was the key for the project's success. There were 3 of us from the UWS Creative Technology Group that tapped into the centre expertise to develop a new vision for their future. We gathered visitor views and we looked at the fascinating collection the centre preserved, aiming to tell the artefact stories in a compelling way. And obviously we looked at the beautiful environment in which the centre is embedded. The resulting design for the gallery and reconstructions takes the visitor into a metaphorical journey through time and into the lives of the Aryan Ages people, exploiting technologies and environmental storytelling, ensuring the centre's future as a museum that matters for the communities that it serves.
And the winner of the Innovation of the Year is ScotMass Group and Robert Gordon University. The judges were very impressed with the strong, innovative product that demonstrated real commercial potential across a range of markets, including hospitals, water supplies and food production. So let's hear from Alistair Cameron. How are the winners feeling?
Two words to describe how we feel if we won. Group hug. This has been an enormous team effort from everybody involved in our business to help us get to this stage through some good times and some very challenging times. If we were to be successful, the trophy would be placed right here, front and centre, for everybody in our team to see. And with thanks again to all the academics who have helped us to get to this stage.
And there you have it, our 8 outstanding partnerships and individuals, this year's Scottish Knowledge Exchange Award winners. Huge congratulations to our shortlist and winners today. I think virtual group hugs and high fives to you all. But it's not over yet, because we can continue to celebrate and join the after party where we can meet our shortlisted and winners via the networking breakout rooms. So please do stay with us, because I'm now going to hand over to Mike Cantley, Chair of Scottish Funding Council, to provide our concluding remarks. Stay with us while we hear from Mike.
Good afternoon. So, the Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards are always remarkable for what they tell us about the quality of business and academic partnerships across Scotland. But this year's awards are all the more remarkable because of the record number of entries they've attracted. And this in a year when COVID-19 has made partnership working so much more challenging than ever. So For myself as chair of the Scottish Funding Council, this is a measure of just how much importance forward-looking businesses put on their relationships with universities and colleges. From 6 years of these awards, from well over 100 case studies on the Interface website, and from the media, there is growing evidence to show that these relationships work and that they work incredibly well. It's no surprise then that this afternoon has been such a grand tour of innovation and achievement. In every category, we've seen how business and academic partnerships are creating new products and new ways of doing things to help our future economy and wider society. The COVID-19 Collaboration Response Award underlines the ability of Scottish research and innovation to react quickly to new environments. This past year has been the ultimate test of that, and it's great that we've been able to celebrate this today. As we look tentatively ahead to a future beyond the pandemic, we need to think carefully about how to safeguard the amazing research and innovation capabilities we have here in Scotland, world-class capabilities. More importantly, though, we have to think very carefully about how we adapt, enhance, and strengthen these capabilities to face the challenges of the future. This is an issue that is absolutely central to the review the Scottish Funding Council is currently undertaking on behalf of Scottish Government. We've already talked to a lot of people and organisations at the centre of Scottish research and innovation, and we'll do more still before completing our recommendations later in the summer. But what we do know already is that entrepreneurship will play an incredibly important role in our future economy, an economy that will see an acceleration towards a net zero carbon society. We must be ready for this and be able to embrace the new jobs, the new business opportunities, and the new prospects for export that will come with it. We've already seen some exciting collaborations in this area. I'm thinking, for example, about the partnership between SunAmp and the University of Edinburgh on energy storage, and about the work that's been done by the University of Strathclyde and Renewable Parts Limited to extend the life of wind turbine components. Both of these projects are already making a contribution to a greener Scotland and creating more jobs. Doing more of this is going to be a big part of our future. Furthermore, it will be a significant factor in further enhancing Scotland's reputation for innovation at an international level. I'd also like to put a word in here for our young entrepreneurs. SFC recently funded the Fuel Change Challenge, where apprentices in colleges and universities worked with industry mentors to develop low-carbon projects. The initiatives that are being taken forward include new ways to decommission aircraft and a blueprint for creating an electric bus network. So, if you're an entrepreneur of whatever age and in whatever field, and you want to be part of this future, the message from today is that you will find your commitment and dedication matched by talented people in all kinds of disciplines and at all levels of Scotland's colleges and universities across Scotland. So please be inspired by what you've seen and heard today. Make contact with Interface and let them help you develop your ideas and find academic partners that can help to make those ideas become reality. And finally, thank you for joining the Scottish Knowledge Exchange Awards today. Now, I'll hand back to Siobhan Jordan, who has further instructions for you on joining the network sessions. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Mike, for sharing your thoughts and observations on what has been a tour de force of innovation and creativity. And as Mike mentioned, the dynamic Interface team are always ready and willing to translate industry needs to academic challenges. So please do get in touch. Virtual coffees are always welcome. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, and by way of helping us shape future events, we'd be delighted to hear your thoughts in our online survey. But before we move to the next stage of the proceedings, a really big thanks to all the technology team that have helped us behind the scenes today, to Tapestry AV and College Development Network, and to the wonderful marketing team, Alina, Bev and Susie, calmly led by Heather, and to Nicola and Alan for all their support. Now, we know how much you value networking part as part of our usual face-to-face awards, and we wanted in some way to try and include this in our online event. So we're going to keep the party going and personally invite you to stay on and enjoy some virtual networking. But before we throw open the virtual doors to the after party of the year, here's some simple instructions. We've got 3 breakout rooms with Dynamic Interface team there on hand to help facilitate and kickstart the discussions. 3 topics. Breakout room 1, looking at the future of work, and you can meet the shortlist from the people categories, join in a discussion on entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. Breakout room 2, themed around building partnerships for long-term impact, and meet the shortlist from our project categories and how to build productive and impactful partnerships. And the breakout room 3, entitled Enabling Creativity and Innovation, on a discussion on how important these 2 topics are for your organization and how you might implement that. So, the magic key to the after party is to join the breakout room by clicking networking link along the toolbar at the top of your screen. So please do come with us and click the networking link at the top of the toolbar. Enjoy your discussions and thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon.